Hey everybody, happy Thursday. It's Sean from High Level. I wanted to give you the all-important calendar update that I think everybody has been looking for. So, in front of me is the new sort of a beta version of the calendar. So let me talk you through this sort of at a high level real quick before we dive in. So there's the good news and there's bad news. So let's go with the bad news first. So the bad news is that the calendar got pushed out just a little bit. But don't worry, it's not that far. The good news, the reason it got pushed out was really simple. So if you think about the way, if any of you have been in the beta calendar or seen any of the beta calendar stuff, it was going to kind of be like a hard transition. Like, hey, listen, we used to have this old calendar and now we've got this new calendar, right? And if you want to move to the new calendar, you got to leave the old calendar behind. So sorry. Well, Nikunj on our team came up with an amazing strategy to actually transition everybody over automatically and not have to make this hard cut. We just needed about a week and a half of extra time to make it happen. So the great news is that's actually already done and passed. So that's been implemented. I'm going to show that to you here. And then let's go through it real quick and then we'll jump into a timeline. So the idea here is simple. So next week, the calendar UI for everybody should change to look something like this. So over here on the left-hand side, it says unassigned. Unassigned is essentially our current calendar system. So that way, none of you have to lose anything that's already there. You'll just all have unassigned. Now, some of you will not have all this stuff on the right-hand side because this is the new teams. So check this out. This is how we're going to make this really sweet transition and pave the way for the future. So over here, there's this Teams tab, which I sort of started on. And what you can see in here is you can come in and you can actually create a team. So this one says HL Cal Provider. So let's look at that team. So that team is literally made up of these three people who are enabled. And for these people, they are actually going to be on this calendar. Here's the link. Here's some options. But in effect, what that means is if we look at the name of this team and we roll back over to the calendars, you can see there's that team, right? So the team actually then becomes the calendar. And if you open it up using this link, what you're going to see is here's all the various services that team offers. And then if you go in, click on one of these, obviously you're going to drop into the calendar view. And then you can see all those various sub-services here. And then, of course, this is just like all the stuff you've already seen within the actual service. You can configure who's on that service and the priorities and all that good stuff. So nothing sort of new to see there. So, but just the root thing, if you take nothing away from this, because sometimes I'm sure I can be confusing, is that you won't have this hard cutover to this brand new calendar. So, all right, Sean, what the heck's going on? What's the schedule? What's the rollout timeline? All that good stuff. So the idea is really simple. Next week, we will roll this out to the current existing beta calendar users. So if you are currently using the beta calendar, you are going to see not just the unassigned, but also the teams tab pop up, and you're going to be able to actually start creating teams and using the calendar. And when you do that, we just want to make sure that everything's working good. And so as soon as the current beta group of you say, hey, listen, everything's going great, I love it, that's where we're going to start the rollout to everybody. So now what's the timeline on that? It's really just about feedback from you. So we're right there on the edge of launching this to everybody. For those of you who are in the beta group, this is what's coming to you next week. But we are literally, I would say 2 weeks out from really starting to launch this to everybody. But it's awesome now. We're not going to have to make this hard cutover. There's no transition anymore. So anyways, that's the long-winded explanation of where we are with the new calendar. But I'm super proud of the team here. They're doing the right thing by taking a little extra time and getting rid of that hard cutover. So anyways, everybody, I hope you're having a great week. If you have any questions, let us know. But this is coming very soon. And again, for those of you on the beta, we'll see you next week on this. And then those of you who are not, you will at least see this new interface here with the unassigned next week. And we're getting ready to move over for everybody. So again, thanks a lot, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.